So, guys, I just found a way to make so much money from driving traffic on the internet that you could probably retire and do absolute nothing else. Just completely just do this one thing and you'll make so much money that you'll never have to worry about any kind of business. The way it works, the way I discovered it is back when I was offering my marketing services. This was a couple years ago. I found this business on Google and I called them because that was probably the easiest way to get hold of the owner of the business, and I was fortunate enough to actually talk to the owner, which is a rare instance, because usually you talk to somebody who has nothing to do with making decisions about the business. It's usually some virtual assistant who drops you off. But this time I was in luck, and I spoke to this guy and I basically said, look, I see you don't have much going on online, and I can probably help you out. I can make some content for you. And he was like, we are fine. He was like, we're okay. And I was, it's one of those shocking moments where it's like, you definitely suck at digital marketing. So you saying that you don't need any help and you don't need like any more customers literally didn't make sense to me. But I had the courage to ask. I was like, well, why is it that you don't want more business? Isn't that in your interest? And he was like, well, we can take more, like we're booked. And he was serious about it. I can tell he was like so confident. And so I was like, where do the people come from? Like you have like 300 followers on Facebook. Where do people see your business? Like your website looks like some garbage from one of those cheap free templates from like Wix or some platform like that. And he barely customized it. Like the copy was absolute trash. And I was like, well, how do you get these people in your business? And he said, we get customers from Google. And so I was like, oh, so you have like a website and you do SEO? I didn't know he had a website by that time. And he said, no, it's not the website, it's the Google business, the GMB. And I didn't know, I wasn't sure about the GMB, I wasn't familiar with it at the time, but he showed me, just like I'm gonna show you right now here. So if you Google anything related to home service, like a location-based, key search term, you're probably gonna see some websites, but you're gonna see a bunch of these map listings where you can actually click on the map and it's gonna take you to the Google Maps where you can see all these different businesses. Now, most of these businesses do not get as much traffic as these 4 businesses at the top right here. These people get shitloads of calls and traffic to their websites and messages, because if you click, there's usually a button to message the business. It's probably because I'm on desktop that it doesn't show that, but if I was on mobile, there's usually a message button as well. And so this guy, he basically told me that like most of his business, like 70% of the customers were coming from the Google My Business profile, and the rest came from the word of mouth, right? So I was blown away. But the reason I'm saying this is because you can actually make money from the Google Business profile, and I'm gonna show you how it's possible. And I've even seen somebody do like a huge a network of these business profiles, like it's like a I'll explain how it works in a second, and it's so simple. I'm really surprised nobody has ever really like exposed this whole business, that this is like probably one of the most lucrative things you can do, because if you run ads, or like if you can see most of these are sponsored, so these people and these people on top here, they're paying like $50 per call, like sometimes even per click, which is just nuts. So they're just making Google reach, and same with Facebook if they run ads there as well. But the people in here, these aren't ads, and they aren't paying anything. They are literally getting free, they're getting reach for free. Like if you have a business that is good at extracting money from the customer, and you have one or more business profiles, you can literally just do that, and then have like a referral program where people can send more, they can send their friends to you. You'll have customers for life. But the way you can get rich from this, if you are a marketer or anybody really, because it's that simple, is you can find a business profile that isn't doing much. So most of them are pretty well optimized, but if we scroll to the very bottom of the the Google listings here, you can see some of them have like 2 reviews, and I can tell these people, by the way, I have no idea who this is. This is just an example, and I'm not saying these people would be open to do this, but quite frankly, they probably don't get any customers from this profile, okay? It has to be well optimized for you to rank, because this is still a part of SEO. So if you have just a profile, but it's somewhere at the very bottom, and this is actually not the end of the list. I'm sure there's more, because usually Google doesn't show the profiles that have poor reviews, and all of these are like 4 and above stars. Actually, never mind, here we go. This one has 0 reviews. It's open 24 hours, which is really strange. And it doesn't have, it's just like a residential property. I'm not sure this doesn't even look like a business, if I'm being honest. So this profile, or a profile that is verified but it's not ranking, it's not doing much on Google, it is possible to either rent it or purchase it. Now, if you are familiar with how this works, you cannot set up a business profile if you do not have an address, if you don't have a domain, a good email, not a Gmail email. It has to be a business email. It has to be usually you have to do some kind of verification. If you're lucky, you might get away with like a phone call, but sometimes it's a video verification. Sometimes Google will send you a postcard to your address, and obviously if that address isn't real, then you're gonna not be able to do anything with the postcard, because you won't get it in the first place. But the solution here is you can find like 1,000 people who have business profiles, and then you can ask them to either sell or rent out a business account, because like I said, it has value. The fact that they have verified the profile, it already has value. So because you cannot do it as an individual unless you have an office, unless you have a real business, which costs a lot of money and effort to set up, and at that point it's not worth it. So we either purchase or rent it. Okay, renting is a safe bet, because what you can do is you can request management access to the business profile, and they can add your Google account as somebody who can manage the account. And this is really important because it's going to allow you to be able to optimize the Google business profile, put your phone number there, or just do some work with it to hopefully get it ranking higher. As you can see, in competitive niches like plumbing, roofing, water damage repair, there's gonna be probably hundreds of Google business profiles, but I'm sure there's opportunity because this is geo-based. You can be in some small town where it's only 5 businesses, and you can pretty easily outrank them because most of them don't know anything about marketing and all this SEO, techie, computer, all this technical stuff. Most people don't mess with it. Sometimes it's gonna be an agency doing the work for them. Sometimes they figure it out, but honestly, there's a ton of niches and a ton of cities where it's just like 10 businesses that really operate, and then it's a free, it's completely open for someone to just come in and just take over their traffic. It's not hard to do in some cities. Hope you get the point. So you can reach out, either buy or rent an account, and then what you're gonna do is very simple. It's a pay per call affiliate marketing. The reason it's pay per call because most people, when they go to a business profile, they will either message or they'll make a phone call. But if you really want them to call, you can put your phone number in the images. You can tell people that you want them to make a phone call. And if somebody has like a roof leaking, if somebody has some kind of problem in their house, they the pipe broke down and they have water flashing, trust me, they have enough reason to pick up the phone and make a phone call. And that phone call can be worth between $50 and probably $300 if it's an actual customer calling. So you can go and you can send the calls to the network like Offerworld. Let's see. As you can see, there's a campaign here. It's a rehab, and it pays you $800 per call. Let's see the landing page. It's an addiction marketing, which you have to know well to be successful in, but it is possible. I'm sure there's a ton of niches where it's like home service. There you go, bathroom remodeling, $70 per qualified lead. Let's see. I'll have to sign up for this network to see what the conditions are. But guys, I hope that this is making sense for you, because literally this is free traffic. Like, you don't get this anywhere else. If you go out of home advertisement, you'll be paying like $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to be on some billboard, so that hopefully somebody driving by on the highway will make a phone call. And then if you go for the traditional, the typical advertisement, you're gonna be like on radio. You're looking at like $30,000 if you want to reach like a local audience through a radio. You're looking at least $30,000. If you are going on Google or Facebook, you're looking at least a couple $1,000, and it's just to even like get a couple tests done. It's not even gonna be profitable most likely at that point. But this stuff is actually like, Google doesn't want it to be completely paid so that only the businesses who have cash can get customers. So they allow you to create this business profile, and if you are a good business, you get good reviews, you do a good job, and you do a little bit of marketing, you figure it out, then you can actually get free customers. So hope you enjoyed this walkthrough. This makes sense. Give me a thumbs up and see you in the next video.